Good morning. My name is Kyle Zagaric with PowerNotes, and I'm creating a short video tutorial that will cover the latest PowerNotes features, including our teaching suite, AI integration, and new Composer word processing tool. Today is Tuesday, November 14th, so these updates are of as that date, and we have several improvements rolling out over the next few weeks. For those of you unfamiliar with PowerNotes, we offer a digital research and writing methodology focused on the process. When it comes to AI, our approach is quite simple. We believe that AI has changed everything. Outputs can now be faked, detectors do not work, and there's no easy solution. So since our framework is already built around the digital reading, research, and writing process, we aim to shift assessment from the output to that process while creating a transparent environment of accountability where cheating is disincentivized. If you'd like to know more about where PowerNotes started from, how it came to be, feel free to let us know or visit our website. So for today, we are going to jump in to a few different PowerNotes accounts. I will do my best to cover everything concisely, while also diving into the new timely features. To get started, we are going to jump into a teacher's account. So I'm starting here inside of Canvas just to show you that PowerNotes does integrate with all major LMS providers. If you'd like to learn more about that, please let us know. You can embed PowerNotes as an external link, and instructors, when they click on that link, will be brought into their own PowerNotes account. So every user, students, faculty, staff will all have their own PowerNotes account. You're first brought into what's called the PowerNotes project dashboard. Here's where you can see all of the PowerNotes projects that you're working on. Projects are broken up into a few different parts. You have an outline, and that outline can then be transitioned into our Composer view. Professors will likely use the research outline as a template to share with students to give them a starting point for the assignment. So professors can customize these. They can start from scratch. They can give students something very robust to work on. Here's an example of a legal research template, where you have the title, you can add descriptions, and of course, different topics using the PowerNotes interface. So a handful of other examples. As you can see here, in this example, we've added some lorem ipsum just to show you that you can add content that includes your own writing, outside research, and AI-enabled content. We'll talk more about that in a moment. All teachers will have access to their own administration dashboard. They can access that by clicking on this shield in the upper right-hand corner. Clicking on that shield will bring them to their assignments page. Thanks to the LMS integration, we will have pulled the course title, roster information, and everything that is tied into the LMS LTI. So here you can see we have a few open assignments. I will click into an assignment to give you an idea of what's happening. On the left-hand side, you can see a link into each student's project. So this will bring you to either their research outline that they're creating, or it'll bring them to that Composer view, which is very similar to a Google Doc or Microsoft Word document. Here you have the students' names. Here you have the PowerNotes Insight Score, which is our process-driven approach to academic integrity. I'll talk more about this in a moment, but basically it will correlate a student's work history towards expectations and submitted drafts. If you've enabled our time on task tool, you'll have an indicator of how much time the student has spent working on the project here. That will include time spent working in the outline and time spent reading sources in the browser. You also have an activity log and other settings that can be found. Let's jump back into our assignments to show you how we can set something like this up. will specifically show that same climate change research project. So this is the view that you would see when you're initially setting up a project, or you can see one that's already going. You can give the assignment a name. Here's where you can select one of the templates. You can view that template to make sure that it's the appropriate one. So in this case, the professor has built somewhat of a robust template to share with students. Each student in the class would automatically receive this template with these instructions right in their own PowerNotes account. You can have the assignment as opened or draft. You can lock it, set due dates. You have a handful of configurations here, and we can dive into that at a later date. For now, I would like to talk about our Insight settings and AI settings. Starting here with AI, we do have an AI integration. Schools can enable the various models that OpenAI provides, ChatGPT 3.5, GPT-4 8K, ChatGPT 16K, and others as they become available. We're also working on integrating other companies that have commercially available APIs. With PowerNotes, we put the AI use in the control of instructors. So if an instructor wants to add AI into an assignment, they will turn it on. If they do not want to include AI in the assignment, and they do not want students to use the AI, they will turn it off. To address contract cheating, AI cheating, and other academic integrity concerns, PowerNotes offers an Insight score. Insight is our own tool. It's patented, and it's our process-driven approach to academic integrity. So whether you've enabled AI or not, you have the option to use Insight. In fact, we have several schools using Insight without the AI integration in general. Insight will operate in 3 different phases. Phase 1, the instructor can set expectation values for various aspects of the assignment. These expectations can be turned on independently or all together. At the very top, you have target number of sources. For this example assignment, we've added 10. So the students will need to incorporate 10 outside sources, 10 different outside sources into their project, and PowerNotes will account for each of those. These sources cannot be cheated thanks to our browser extension and the method of capturing external information. Target number of annotations. These are smaller inputs that you can type in, or these can be quotes or different inputs that are brought into an assignment. And then we have target time spent. We can share more on how we measure active time. In general, the active time is measured by active engagement in the source combined with active engagement in the project outline. So if a student is reading a source, looking for information, they're researching, they're pulling in information, they're taking notes, there'll be a timer that's going. Or if they're in their project outline and they're reorganizing, they're typing, they're doing work in their own outline, the timer will be going as well, and they're provided with an aggregate sum of all of that time that they've spent. So this is how you can set up that project. Phase 2 of the Insight score will be a final correlation. Basically, if a student submits a draft, we will correlate all of the work that's been done in PowerNotes with the draft that's been submitted via a Word document. There's a third phase that we're working on that's fairly new that's called Composer. I will show Composer towards the end because it'll give you an idea of how you can take a research outline that's built in PowerNotes and transition it into that Word draft, whether it's an early draft or the final completion that you'll submit as a student. But Composer has its own academic integrity tools built in as well, where instructors can see things like what was copy and pasted, what was typed, what information is brought in from the outline, what information is AI generated, and a number of different features. All right, so this is how you can set it up. Let's jump now into what the student can see. Just like the teachers, the students will have their own link within the LMS course. That will bring them into their own PowerNotes account. This is my example student Jamal's account, where you can see Jamal has a number of different projects they're working on. Specifically here, let's dive into this climate change example project. I've used this project before for other demos, but I've deleted some of the information, so it looks like we're starting from scratch. But as you can see here, we've actually logged about 40 minutes worth of demo time here. And you can also see that because there's previous AI brainstorms. Our AI prompts that are populated right in the project outline cannot be deleted. So let's start by using the AI features. So for this project, the AI features have been enabled by the instructor. So that's why the student can see them. So we're going to come in here, we click brainstorm with AI. We had another session pulled up, so we minimized it. You can see all of your old sessions here, and you can start something new. So this might be my first time researching climate change. So I might say, what are research topics for climate change? This will send the question out to the AI's knowledge base and provide the student back with information immediately. This is typically how we see professors encouraging students to use the AI's knowledge base, because as we know, while it's very good at the basics, you can get into trouble if you're relying on PowerNotes for something concise, and if you're asking it for sources. So you might say something like this. Okay, I can see that. And I might ask it to do something else. Or from here, I can maybe take one of these and go out and search for it. So I have a few different sources pulled up to show you how our browser extension works. So a main component of PowerNotes is a browser plugin that will work on Chrome, Firefox, and Microsoft Edge. When you have the extension enabled, like I do, which you can easily turn off as well, you can expand and minimize what's called the PowerNotes sidebar. The PowerNotes sidebar shows you a smaller view of that outline that we're working on. In this case, here's what the professor has sent us to the student. Students can switch between their projects. And when they have the project enabled here in the sidebar, in order to save text, you just highlight. When you highlight text, this box will pop up. This box will show you the title of the project you're in, along with different topics that are, of course, associated with the project. Along with having the topics, you can organize that information from the point of capturing. So from here, I can take notes, I can summarize, I can annotate, I can type as little or as much as I'd like. And that workflow can just happen over and over again without the student having to leave the source. So to show you that again, you highlight text, this box will pop up. Here's the title of the project, along with our topics. And I can organize information. Please don't give me a grade on this. I'm just showing some of the functionality here. I'm not actually reading closely, but I can take notes. If I don't want to take notes or annotate that, I can just click enter. Over here in the sidebar, we'll save some information automatically. What the student has highlighted is put into quotation so they know it's not theirs, and the text is locked. You cannot edit that. You can always come back in and edit the annotation field. PowerNotes will automatically grab a link back to the source so the students can never forget where something came from, and PowerNotes will automatically cite the source as well. So the students can view a saved citation, click save. Now they have it saved for their project. Students can also add their own thoughts. So along with adding these research inputs, you can add your own writing in the form of a free form note, as we call them. So you might have a great idea for a topic, sentence. You might just have questions that you want to add in. The inputs do not have to be associated with an outside source. But in order for you to save that info to PowerNotes, you do have to highlight the text and use this extension to incorporate it as a way to let the teacher know that you've actually read, engaged with, and you're effectively incorporating that research into your outline. So as you can see here, we're slowly building our outline. PowerNotes generally will work on everything. So PDFs, open web sources, sources from your library's databases. Anything that you open up in the browser, PowerNotes will work on. So it's not too exciting, but I'll just show you a few other sources here. You can also work with the sidebar minimized if you do not want to see that sidebar there. And that'll save. Another cool thing about PowerNotes with PDFs, we will automatically recognize and process PDFs without a text layer to ensure that students can work with them. We'll make them more accessible. That OCR process happens in real time. We also have an AI-enabled tool here in the extension. So the AI-enabled tool is called Discovery, and it can be viewed or it can be used on top of any online source, just like our extension. And what happens when a student comes across a source that maybe they want to find out some more information on, they click this green button here. And Discovery will run three things using AI for this source. It starts with a summary, then research topics, and then finally a Q&A. The summary is straightforward. The AI will summarize the article so the student can read it quickly, have a general understanding of what's covered here, and use that information as they need to. It's important to remind you that instructors can turn off the various AI tools. So if you're seeing this and you say, I do not want my students automatically having summaries of sources, you can turn off this feature for select assignments. We also provide research topics. So the research topics are great for students that are researching topics that are new to them, because they may start with something that the professor provided, or perhaps their librarian pointed them to a great starting point. But then from there, they're unsure where to go. Here you can see 5 research topics that the AI has generated from the text on this page. And with PowerNotes, we're unique since we're tied into the browser. You can click into one of those sources, and PowerNotes will run a search with these search terms. And here are the results. This search can be ran in your institution's library through our library discovery API. So the student might start in just a general open web source, and then we provide them with research topics. Well, the AI provides them with research topics, and then listed below are results from the institution's library. In this example, I believe we're pulling from Google. Actually, I know we're pulling from Google. So as you can see here, you can click into there and go find other sources. Along with the research topics, at the very bottom, we have a Q&A. So the Q&A is a great example of how PowerNotes can help shrink the AI's knowledge base to address the concerns around hallucinations. Here, when you ask questions, the AI will only respond if the information is relevant to the page. So as you can see here, what category is the Hurricane Lee? The AI will respond, and a few other questions. But if I ask it a question like, what is the meaning of life? The AI will let you know that the topic's not related and it can't answer it. So it'll once again shrink the AI's knowledge base. It will not go off into who knows where and provide you with false information. It will only answer based on the text of this page. And we have a few other tools to do that as well. So I want to point out something again about the research topics. I mentioned that we can integrate with your school's library discovery. We can also tie that into Google. So in this example, we have one of our partner institutions tied up for demo purposes. When you run a search, you'll see here this box will pop up. Ours is generically titled Results from PowerNotes University. We can, of course, change this to your school's name, because these results will be a direct API pull from your school's library. We do not change results. These are the same results as if you would search in your school's discovery layer. So you can click into these, go there, or at the bottom, we have a see all results. As you can see, we're brought right to the school's library with the search terms still populated that carry over from Google, and now we're right in the library. So we can do some similar things with the AI research topics feature. So as you can see here, the student cannot cheat how they're adding information into the outline. You have to go out, find research, pull it in. You have to slowly build this outline. as you are building on that schema that will turn into something more robust, like a draft or that final paper. Of course, you can collaborate with any number of students in here. There's a commenting field that can be used for group work or for teachers giving feedback. So if I was a teacher giving feedback there, just like that. And you can have any number of students working together on this. So it's a great for group work, research projects, and so on. All right, so let's go back into my outline. And as you can see here, we found some research. I'm actually going to go out and grab some more for the sake of this next feature I'm going to show you. You can act like I'm reading this closely. Okay, so I've pulled in some work. Let's go to my outline. You can see it all here. And along with being able to ask the AI open questions with our brainstorm tool, you can also ask the AI questions based on your own research and writing. So maybe I've gone out, I've found some research, but I just can't find a way to pull it all together. So I might say, summarize this research. So I've, as the student, have gone out and found these quotes. Now, instead of asking the AI to write a summary on one of my topics, I can actually research that topic and then have the AI summarize what I found. So in this example here, you see the student's name. In yellow, you'll see the research that you fed the AI. Here's the prompt, here's the response. In this case, once again, we are minimizing the AI's knowledge base to only the information that we provide it with. And even though this information, this was part of random highlights that we pulled in, as you can see, it does a pretty good job of summarizing it for us. This is also great for summarizing your own work. Perhaps you have a few arguments that you as the researcher are formulating, but you can't quite tie them together. You can use the closed prompting feature to assist you. So once again, you can do open prompting, ask the AI to go out into its knowledge base, answer questions, pull in information. And you can also do what's called closed prompting. So closed prompting will show you or allow the researcher to control what the AI is operating off of. All right, so I have all this research here. From this point, I can either export it into a Word document, or I'm going to show you a brand new feature called Composer. Composer is the view that it's our word processing view. It's launching next week, and it's not yet available in our production account. So I actually have a teacher's demo account pulled up that we use for testing purposes. I just want to give you an idea of how it works. So let me get that pulled up for you. It's a completely different feature or completely different environment. So the content will be different. And I'm actually going to the teacher side, but I think you'll get a general idea. So here I have an assignment. So I'm the teacher looking at this Trends in Higher Education project. Here's my student, Kyle. Here's their insight score. So it's still low, but they've submitted a draft, it looks like. So I can either jump into their outline. I can see the outline, see the work that they've added. It looks like they've put in some paragraphs and some research they pulled in. They've used the AI. All the AI's responses are tagged and labeled as AI. So there's never any concern around what is AI, what is not. PowerNotes will log all of that. So along with being able to see the outline, the student had submitted their composer view. So students will have a similar view where they can take their work and actually incorporate it into an outline, just like this. They can drag and drop their research, populate it into this Word document. And as you can see here, the student has submitted this. There are still some kinks that we're working out. So keep that in mind that this is still the first version. It's not even live yet. It will improve greatly over the next few weeks. So this is what the student can see, or this is what the teacher can see. This draft has been submitted. So up top, the first thing that the teacher can do is view previously submitted drafts. This is the most up-to-date one. So they can go and sort through different drafts. This is the most up-to-date version. They can also reopen the draft. So once the student submits the assignment, the draft on their end will lock until the professor can give feedback. What the professors can also do, over here it says teacher review, they can toggle on what's called teacher mode. So turning that, it will color code the project, and it'll give you an idea of where the information came from. So just so you know, all things that are in blue are free-form notes. So these are free-form notes that came from the outline. Along with being able to identify free-form notes, you can see in gray that we have what's called, these are just research quotes, I apologize. So we have free-form notes that the student added to the outline. You can see it's all time, it's tagged here. They've incorporated that free-form note into their draft. Here we have research that has been pulled in. You can view that still in the outline over here where it says show outline. You can go and click into that and actually see the larger outline view. What the text that is listed in white or that is not highlighted, the student has typed that in themselves. This text here that is in yellow, this was pasted. So all copy and pasted text that is pasted into Composer will be labeled as well. And then here you have something else from the outline. So it's very easy for professors just to see, all right, here is what's being submitted as a draft. However, if you want to take a closer look, it's very easy to identify where the text originated. So you click into here and you say, okay, actually, well, the student only typed this. Well, they typed this. This came from their outline. Here are some quotes they pulled in. And this piece of text, this was copy and pasted. So maybe I want to take a closer look at this to make sure that the student's not plagiarizing or cheating in some capacity. And of course, if you just want to see where did this work start from in the first place, you can see this outline. And over here on the right-hand side, you can see, I can click here. This will show me in the outline where it came from. And the student will have a similar view where they can take the information and just populate it right into the outline. So Composer is fairly new, as you can see here, as I'm struggling to explain exactly how it works because I'm still learning as well. But the goal is to give students an easy way to transition their research outline into a word processing environment while allowing instructors to confidently know what was typed, what was copy and pasted, what is outside research, and what is AI generated. And all of that is possible here within PowerNotes. Let's end by going back into the instructor side. Once again, this is that original project that we were working on to show you. Here, once again, you can see all of the students in your class. You have a live look into their project at any point in time. If they were using that Composer tool, here's where they can submit it, but unfortunately that's not live in this account. Teachers can give feedback. They can have the students upload their drafts into that insight tool that will once again compare the final drafts. It's very hard for students to cheat the PowerNotes process. As you can see with the insight score, the time on task, and of course the activity log, which will log everything. So this was the example demo project that we just walked through. Here you can see all of the actions that had taken place. So I had highlighted something at 11:07 a.m. Central Time. Here's what I've highlighted. Here's where it is. Yes, you can see this inside of the project outline. This is just a more in-depth view of what professors can actually track. Most professors have said that they probably won't dive into the activity log unless it's absolutely necessary because who has all of that time, right? But it's a backup way to be able to say, here's what I'm seeing in your activity log. It's not reflecting what's listed in your outline. Can you tell me what's going on? That's a lot of information. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, we'd welcome that. You can reach me at kyle@powernotes.com. We hope that you found this interesting, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks. Have a great day.